Hey guys, this is Monique coming at you again. This is Jayden's pregnancy, labor, and delivery story. I was 5 weeks when I found out I was pregnant with Jayden. I kept on going into the doctor's office because I knew I was pregnant, and the test came out negative. It kept on coming out negative. After a while, they just didn't want to give me the test anymore, so I took matters into my own hands. I went to the 99-cent store. And if you guys don't want to spend like $10, $20 on a pregnancy test, just go to the 99-cent store or the Dollar Tree. You know, they work just as good. They're all the same, just priced different. And that test came out positive. I went straight into the doctor's office and told them, I told you I was pregnant, and here's my proof. And now, you know, I need a referral to go see an OBGYN. Well, you know, what I had was, it was very hard. Look at, he's getting high. It's very, very hard to get a referral to see a doctor, especially because I lived in Victorville at the time, and everything up there is just completely different from when you're living in LA. He was a good pregnancy, very, very good pregnancy. I had kidney stones with him as well. I went into the hospital once, and I got a shot so that the pain would go away. I got my antibiotics, which, by the way, it's not harmful for the babies, because they wouldn't give you anything that's harmful for the baby. And if it is harmful for the baby, they would tell you before they give it to you and prescribe it to you. So it wasn't bad for him, but I only went in once, and his pregnancy was awesome. It was great. No problems at all. None at all. And the only problem I had personally is I broke out all over my face, all over my chest, my back, on my thighs. I got more stretch marks, which I have stretch marks from Mariah. Not from Miranda, but I did get them from Mariah. But Jayden, you know, he gave me a little bit more stretch marks. He made me wide, real wide. So I was huge with Jayden. I was huge with all three of my kids. But with him, I broke out everywhere. And right from the start, when I knew I started breaking out, I knew it was completely different, and it was going to be a boy, because with my girls, I didn't break out at all. And when it came time to deliver him, I was at home. I dilated all the way to 4 centimeters before going into the hospital. I was 3 centimeters for about 3 weeks before actually going into labor. How I knew I was going into labor is my mucus plug came down, and it was pretty big, my mucus plug. It wasn't like that with my girls. I don't even remember my mucus plug coming out, if it even did, because I know most likely it did. But this one was so huge. I mean, it was huge. And it just kept on coming down, and I thought it was my water that was breaking. It wasn't. It was just my mucus plug. My water broke when I got to the hospital. And that's my stepmom. I'm doing a YouTube video.
She's doing a video.
It's fine. You know, I had my mucus plug. I went into the hospital. I was 4 centimeters dilated. I dilated all the way to 7 before, before they can even give me an epidural. It was the worst pain. It was way worse than my girls. I had back labor, so I can't even express to you like how bad it was. I felt like I was dying. I was telling everybody, you know, I think I'm dying and things like that. It hurt so bad, and I was only in labor for 8 hours at the hospital with him, and honestly, to tell you the truth, it was so painful. And then, you know, when you're at the hospital, they don't let you do what you want to do. You have to do what they want you to do. I was being so mean to my nurse. I was telling her to shut up. I was telling her, I'll do what I want. You're not the one in labor. And, I just wasn't one of those nice patients that they like to have. Um, it was horrible. You don't ever want to feel pain, but when I got my epidural, it all went away. My my delivery was not great at all. It was the worst delivery I ever had in my life, and I would never go back to that hospital ever again. They were unprofessional. They didn't know what they were doing. Um, they were running around all nervous and everything else. And if you guys already know that I'm bipolar, and I told you guys that I get episodes. So I was having episodes while I was in labor, and they knew that I was bipolar, obviously, because I has it on the charts and everything, and they weren't the best people to deliver my baby. I was a high risk. I had preeclampsia and digestional diabetes, and they had a midwife that never even met me, that didn't even know I had an epidural.
I don't know. It's
My daughter, Mariah.
hello.
Didn't know I had an epidural, didn't know anything about me to deliver me. And when I was pushing, she's like, come on, you need to push. And I'm like, well, I don't feel anything. And she's like, what do you mean you don't feel anything? I have an epidural. And she's like, oh, you have an epidural. My doctor, my OB, was in the hospital. They didn't even notify him that I was in labor. They didn't even notify him that I was in the hospital. My son was born with a lot of breathing problems because of this. And if you guys are wondering, oh, how do you know it was because of the labor and delivery? It's because the pediatrician told me so. And my OB had told me that he was going to have problems because they didn't deliver him right. They had me pushing at 8 centimeters. And if any of you had babies, or, are pregnant right now, you're supposed to start pushing when your baby's crowning, which is around 10 centimeters. And I wasn't even close. I wasn't crowning. I wasn't close to 10 centimeters. I was 8 centimeters dilated. And, you know, they rushed me in to get a C-section, and I was like, hell no, I'm not getting cut on my stomach. So I kept on pushing and pushing and pushing, and I had to tell them that his head was coming out. And they were like, no, he's not coming out. They were not even paying attention to me. I was like, he is coming out. They're like, no, he's not. No, he's not. And I'm like, no, I know for a fact he is coming out. This is my third child. I know what I'm feeling. He's coming out. So when the midwife went to look, her eyes opened so wide. She was like, oh my God, he's coming out. He's coming out. What are we going to do? What are we going to do? Running all over the place. And I'm like, is this your first baby that you delivered or what? So she cut me. What is it called?
I don't know. I never got cut. I got a cesarean.
Oh. You guys know what I'm talking about. She cut me. Instead of ripping, she cut me. I delivered a 7-pound, 11-ounce baby. So I knew I can deliver a 7-pound, 3-ounce baby. No problem. And my OB was actually pissed off when he got there to stitch me up, because they had to call him because he was around there. And he even told me, why did they cut me? Because there was no reason for them to do that. My son was 7 pounds 3 ounces, and he stopped breathing on me 4 times while in the hospital. And if you guys notice, sometimes when I'm not on, it's because when he's sick, he's really sick, and I always have to look out to make sure that he's still breathing and stuff like that. When I left the hospital, he was only 7 pounds, and he was really, really puny. He was 19 3/4 inches long, but he was really small. He fit into preemie clothes all the way until he was almost 2 months. And he had a really bad eye. He had pink eye when he left the hospital. And the pediatrician thought he had a fractured skull. So he told me to take him back a fractured socket, like the eye socket, because it was really bad. And when I took him to the hospital, I have to do another one. It's okay. Stay tuned to part 2. Okay. Bye, everybody.